What's up, party people? This is Jude Mossberg here from Facebook, Jude's Junk Facebook comic book shop and YouTube channel. And I watched this YouTube channel from Mint Hunter Comics. There's something about his voice that's soothing. He's pretty laid back and casual, owns a store, just a regular collector, not a lot of negativity. And so it's pretty cool. So I subscribe. And he just had an interesting run or video today called The Hardest Comics to Run to Complete. And it set me thinking, because as a collector in the 80s, that was kind of one of my goals. And when I got back into comics in 21, that was one of my goals again. And I totally get it. If you are at the beginning of your comic career, that is probably a goal. As I switch to the end of my comic career, because I'm 55 and I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of my comics, all those fillers that I spent years collecting are going to be the hardest to get rid of. And I'll probably lose money on them. So although I'm a completionist when it comes to certain artists, like Todd McFarlane, I'd like every single one of his books in a 9/8. But almost every single one of his books is a key of sorts, just because his name is on it. And if you don't agree, that's cool. His signature commands a premium, up there with Frank Miller and close to Stan Lee, about a $200 bump just for his signature. And in fact, it costs about $200 to get it signed these days with him and Frank Miller. So it's at least a $200 bump for a Todd McFarlane signature. But I digress. We're talking about completionists. You want all the ASMs. You want all the spawns. I get that idea. I like that idea. My instinct is, ooh, let's get the ones I don't have. And I gotta check myself. I don't want those. I don't want the non-keys anymore. I don't want the filler books. Now, granted, if you are younger in your career and you want to read the whole ASM, that is fantastic. In fact, that could be really fun. I'm just not there anymore. I don't read books like I used to. That is not in my wheelhouse. I have 3 businesses. I have a 7-year-old kid. I'm 55, and I'm trying to stay somewhat healthy. So the day is filled. I work from home. So this idea of, what did he call it? He had a name for it, and it keeps digressing. Just completing runs, I guess. Just completing runs. And his video was on the hardest comic runs to complete. And I just wanted to share that if you're doing that, that's great. If you know why you're doing it, that's great. And if you don't care in the end what's going to happen, that's cool too. What I didn't realize is you spend your whole, a few years putting together a whole Wolverine run. Now, I kind of dig Wolverine, so I would actually still enjoy that. But you spend a lot of time doing that. And at the end, there's almost a sense of letdown, like I've accomplished that. Now let me go out and sell the whole set. Because in the back of our mind, we think, I just spent 3 years putting together this whole set of Wolverine. I should be able to get more because someone just wants to buy the whole set. No, the hunt is the fun. Nobody wants to buy a whole set of Wolverine except the people that want to get at a deal. So if you're under the illusion that, I get a whole set of Wolverine, I'm talking about 1988, no, not 1982, because there's 4 issues, but 1988. If you think it's more valuable to get them all together, it doesn't really work out that way. There's not a lot of people out there that just want to buy the whole Wolverine run and pay fair market value. So you spend all that time doing it, and then you turn around and try to sell it, and you will be getting way less than what you hope for, because when people buy in bulk, they expect a discount. That's just the nature of the industry. So if the goal is to sell it right away, or now you got too many comics, you got to clean them out for room, maybe room is an issue, I just wanted to help people think that through, because you're going to end up like me and everybody else in their 50s and 60s with a lot of comics, a lot of filler books that nobody wants, and people, if they get them, they want them 20 cents a piece, because if they're selling them for $2, that's just time and effort to make $1.80, and it's not worth it for a lot of people. So I know this isn't a popular subject because that is the fun of collecting. Um, and I get it. Just think it through. That's all I'm saying. If you're under the illusion that you could sell a complete set of Alpha Flight for more than selling them individually, it just doesn't work out that way. Nobody, most people enjoy the hunt, so they don't want to just buy a full set. I bought a set of 1 through 100 of Wolverine 1988 because I didn't have most of them, and it was a really good buy. It was, I don't know, $3, $4 each, and I went through and picked out all the keys and graded them and got 9/8 and got them signed, and sold a bunch for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So the $400 that I spent on the whole set ended up being a good investment. And then um, you would think that even that issue you could sell them. Some issues are able to sell easier than others, like maybe X-Men, Spawn for sure. It's interesting with Spawn. Raw books with Spawn will sell more than the graded books. It's totally weird, but raw books, and I'm talking about like a 9.4, 9.6, not necessarily a 9.8, but you got a near mint Spawn raw book. Go see what those things are selling for. There's guys selling just Spawn on Whatnot. It's just crazy. Just look at eBay past sales, and I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, a 9.6 just went for $40, and you're paying, uh, 50 for this book that might be a 9.2, 9.4. So, anyways, that is a very unique one. I do collect as many raw Spawns as I can because I like Todd, big fan of Todd, great covers, and they all end up selling. They all end up selling. Now nowadays I have too many multiples, so I stick with the, collecting 100 through 250. That's, if I can get my hands on those, I still try. But what do you think? I don't know if any of you have gone through that phase where you used to collect runs and now you don't, and you wish you didn't when you started, but there's something fun about the thrill of the hunt, and it just meant what I would just say is, if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, great. If you're doing it to read the consecutive story, great. If I could go back and do it again, I'd probably only hunt keys, key collector, and I'd only hunt keys, even minor keys. Unless I really like to cover. A lot of covers that are hot, really good looking hot ones. As I said to someone, Iron Man 191 is not a key, but it's a homage of, I believe, Iron Man 1, or the first appearance of Iron Man 1 in Tales of Suspense 39. Is that right? Anyways, what do you think about collecting runs? Have you outgrown it? Do you still love it? Do you think you'd give advice to people to be careful doing it? Anyways, happy hunting, guys.